Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, Rosie Cooks. This is my friend Maritza.
Hi.
Maritza is my friend, my neighbor, and she made some tamales over the holidays that all of our friends were saying these were great tamales. And then she's like, they were only semi-homemade. I used the canned sauce. So we're gonna make her tamales. Now, back in the 80s or 90s, there was a semi-homemade show. It was called Semi-Homemade with
Sandra Lee.
Sandra Lee. Now, that was a very popular show because she would take shortcuts in the recipes. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to take some shortcuts. They are going to be super, super great tamales because she got a lot of compliments on those tamales. Now, about 28 years ago, Maritza used to have a very special helper in the kitchen to make tamales. Who was that?
My daughter. I adopted her from China. She came just after her first birthday and immediately sat down with us to make tamales.
So you just saw the picture of the professional tamale maker from China. So we're going to make Maritza's delicious tamales. So right here I have equivalent to two whole chickens, rotisserie chickens from the market, and I shredded them. And this is cheese, Monterey Jack cheese, and I just cut them down into little strips like that. We're going to add this cheese to our tamales. So we're also going to add sliced jalapenos. Okay, they're in slices. They're mostly seeded and they're pickled, so they're not as spicy, but they give a lot of flavor to these tamales. So right here I have a big stock pot. And we're going to add two 28-ounce cans of enchilada sauce. This is the enchilada sauce that we are using, but you can use any brand you want. And this is 28 ounces. To this, I'm adding 2 cans of diced green chilies. And these are 4-ounce cans. Now I'm going to add some spices. This is 2 teaspoons each, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and cumin. So I'm going to add that. And that is it for the sauce. So now we're going to heat this up, give it a good stir, and let it come up to a simmer until all those flavors combine. So these are the corn husk that we're going to use today. You can get them at any Mexican style supermarket. You need to rinse them off and soak them so that they get nice and pliable. So we're going to rinse them and soak them for at least an hour. Sometimes these husks come with these little hairs, or sometimes they're like a little dusty. So that's what you want, to rinse them off, and then we're going to soak them in warm water. Okay, so now this is equivalent to 2 of those rotisserie chickens from the market. I shredded them up, and so now I'm going to add them to my sauce. So I just want to let you know that this is 3/4 of a cup of the sauce, and we're going to use this to flavor up the masa. So this is the masa that Maritza got. And okay, tell me about it.
I bought it at Cardenas, a large chain out on the West Coast. It is already prepared. It already has the fat, the salt, and it is ready to use. But it's something that we always like to add a little extra flavor to.
So this is 5 pounds. We're not making a large quantity. You could always double it and triple it if you want. We want to just kind of show a basic recipe. So I have my stand mixer, and we have our masa in our stand mixer. So that's what we're going to use because it's a lot easier than mixing it by hand. This is bacon grease. I just saved it from when I made some bacon. I'm going to use a 1/4 cup to flavor the masa. And here is some of the green sauce. So that's going to flavor up our masa. So from what we know from other videos, there's a right side and a wrong side. Some people say the rough side is not where you spread the soft side. You know, they naturally curl. And basically that's what we've always done. I mean, you do it naturally by the curl to put the inside.
Exactly. I mean, I've never heard of a right side and a wrong side. I just always knew that when it curved, that was the side you used.
That's the inside, right?
The inside. I will apply it, spread it from the edge. So that when I add the chicken.
Okay, go ahead.
So you add your chicken, and the chicken already has the sauce to flavor it, so I don't add too much. I prefer a meaty tamal. I will add the slice of jalapeno. I will add the cheese, and then I roll my tamal together. And the reason I like doing it this way is that when you open your tamal, it just rolls right out of the wrapper.
Ooh, that sounds good. So now we have this big aluminum thing, and we're just going to start adding all of our made tamales here before we cook them.
All right, this is something you might want to know. Not all of the hojas, or the leaves, are going to be large and pretty and good for you to use. So what you learn to do is you start to add one on top of the other. As long as they overlap, you add the masa. It acts kind of like a glue. And now instead of throwing away half sheets, you have full sheets to use.
Perfect. Resourceful. So this is our big olla. It's a pot that we're going to steam them in. And what Maritza just did was just get a piece of aluminum foil, and she made kind of like a pyramid. And now we're going to start stacking our tamales against them.
So they stand straight up.
Yeah, because
While they
they're
cook.
filled with a lot of goodies that you don't want to be running out. So here's the deal with tamales. We are only using 5 pounds of masa. We ended up getting almost 3 dozen tamales. So that's a nice little amount. Okay, it's not a whole bunch. It's perfect. You saw the amounts of the chicken that I used to make the recipe. And we have extra chicken. This is green chili. You can put that in a tortilla. You can serve it over eggs. This is delicious, okay? So there's a lot of things you can make enchiladas with this. This is very tasty. So you will always end up with a little bit of extra. You'll have some extra, we have some extra husk. So pretty much you see everything that we did right here. Everything we did, all this stuff. We're going to start cooking our tamales. I'll show you how they look once we cook them. So I want to show you guys something. I have these little paper wraps. We're making some of these tamales without cheese for somebody who doesn't like cheese. So you want to distinguish the difference. So I'm basically just going to roll these up in this wrap. And what it is, it's called deli wrap. And Maritza says she got them right there at the same market. She just asked them where she could get it. And it says deli wrap, so I'm kind of thinking they probably sell it at Smart and Final, probably. So just giving you guys options. Bring some of this. Add some cheese. Jalapeno. This. So we made a lot here, and we made some here. These are the ones with no cheese. So basically we just added about 2 inches from the bottom, filled with water so that they could steam. Put them on a medium heat and let them go about an hour and a half or so until they start to separate from the husk. So here's the tamale, and you know they're done when they roll off of the paper like this. See that? That's when they're done. About an hour and a half to 2 hours. Okay? So all this is the inside. So these are beautiful tamales. And the flavor is so good. Okay, so these are very, very tasty. Okay. They're very, very good. Okay, thank you to Maritza for helping me make tamales, showing us how she makes her tamales. They're very, very good. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you next time.